Again, it's just ever expanding. So this is where he just keeps building on each one, which
Yeah, and well, every section, like, yeah, it does build like that. Um, so that's where he says in the beginning, you know, illusion is only one strand in the relationship between later and earlier poems. More, in my judgment, than any other kind of imaginative literature, poetry brings its own past alive into its present. There is a benign haunting in poetic tradition, one that transcends the sorrows of influence, particularly the new poet's fear that there is little left for him or her to do. He says her or him. Don't want to get that wrong. Puts her first. In truth, there is everything remaining to be thought and sung, provided an individual voice is attained.
I love his optimism with that.
It's optimistic and then it hits you with it. It hits you with that truth.
I remember people saying this in graduate school, dude, and I always had an issue with it to some extent. It's this self fulfilling prophecy. It's this idea when people say, well, everything's been done before. And I'm just like, it's such a depressing idea. Like it's such a non-artist way of thinking. It's such a stupid way of thinking about the art. Like if you think everything's been done before, then what the fuck are you doing here? Like, then what the fuck are you trying to do by being a writer? Like if you think
I get
everything,
it.
yeah.
I totally get it. I get caught up in that too. Well, but I think a lot of people get caught up in that if you just sort of doubt yourself at
Well, I think
all,
that's what it
you
is.
know?
I think it's not only people that say that
Or like
are.
in the moment of like great inspiration. I mean, everyone's who reads poems and writes poems has thrown down a book after reading something and says, well, fuck, you know, I'll just go fuck myself now. Like,
Yeah,
I
of
guess I have
course.
nothing left. This person already did it. And
But
it's
I,
because, like, you are just so in love with that poem and
yeah,
because it's good. Like,
I felt
or
that.
maybe it sucks and you like bad poems, and that's also, like, fucking fine. Like what you like. I don't give a shit.
I felt that. I just hate this claim because I've never actually thought that, oh, somebody said this better than me. Maybe that's just my blind, like, confidence, arrogance, some might
That is.
say, where I'm just like,
It
oh,
is.
I can do this better. Like, I can say this better, or he left out this part, or they left out this part, or nobody ever talked about this. I don't know. Like, I just think the claim of everything has been done before is such an it's like it's so reductive. It's so reductive, and it dismisses and diminishes like this kind of like,
But you've definitely read shit and thought, fuck, I wish I wrote that.
of
You
course,
know, you can
yeah.
definitely like identify with that to some degree. It's just, yeah, be the overwhelming feeling of everyone said everything and oh my God, I'm just discovering this thing that was written forever ago and how much more has been said since then and they must have covered, it's just like I think it's a very much a young writer
I
way
think
to
it's
feel.
I think it's a young writer, but also if you're still feeling that when it's a bad writer, it means you have nothing to say. If you're that negative, if you think you have nothing to say, then you'll have nothing to say. So that's what I said. It just diminishes the aspects of like inspiration, and then not just inspiration, but straight up talent. Like I think he just diminishes that by, well, it's all been done before. Like no, it fucking hasn't. That's why we love art that like gives us something we haven't seen
Well, even if it
before.
has, fuck that, even if you do feel that way, like, fuck
Right.
that.
Well, so I mean, I just think I
Just
think
say fuck that.
it's given.
Like, and move on.
I just mean, especially in academic circles like this, I think it's given much more credence than it should. I think nobody's proven that. Like if anything, we've proven otherwise. I guess you could argue like archetypes, the hero saga, like these type of archetypes that we still write stories in and stuff today. But like doesn't mean it's all been done before just because we have a common archetype that's used. I mean that's a more craft formula than it is like actually like what you would call like language or like even poetry. Anyway, that's just my whole thing on that. I just like how positive he is about that, where it's just kind of yeah, for a new poet's fear that there is little left for her or him to do. In truth, there is everything remaining to be thought and sung, provided an individual voice is attained. So yeah, I mean like that's I guess that comes down to confidence to some extent, where
Yeah, I'm a
people
big bitch, so I've thought that.
yeah
100%. I know lots of you other poets out there are big bitches too, you know? So shout out to you.